And oh, what needless pain we bear.
Oh, what needless pain we bear.
I wish I could have somebody to help me say, oh, what peace we often forfeit.
Oh, what peace we often forfeit.
And oh, what needless pain we bear, my God.
Oh, what needless pain.
Staying up late at night, worrying about the situation, but give it to him and say, oh, what peace we often forfeit.
Oh, what peace we often forfeit.
Come on, lift your hands tonight and say, oh, what needless pain we bear.
Oh, what needless pain we bear.
He says, I am the great I am. I have all power in my hands. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Come on, tell the devil, you can't have my joy tonight. Oh, what needless pain.
Oh, what needless pain.
Oh, what needless pain.
Oh, what needless.
Come on, stay right there. Oh, what needless pain we bear.
Oh, what needless pain we bear.
We should never be discouraged. Hallelujah. When we take it to him. Come on, lift your hands. All of your burdens, take it to him. Come on, he hears your wounds. When you can't find the words to say, he hears your moans and your groans. Come on, take it to the Lord.
Take it to the Lord in prayer.
Come on, let's celebrate the one who lives tonight. Come on, let's celebrate the one who lives tonight. The one who's strong enough to carry your burdens. When your body fails on you, the one who can carry all of your needs, all of your problems. I dare you to trust him tonight.
There is a well that is within me, overflowing with grace, and for an outpour of his spirit, I will lift my voice and say, Holy Spirit, pour out of me. To touch us deep within, Lord. We submit to your command. Fill us up, Lord, and run us over. Oh, Holy Spirit, we need you, Lord, today. Holy Spirit, you are our comfort.
Everybody clap your hands right here. We will fight and we will win. Come on, SOV, say. We will fight and we will win. And we will win. We speak victory. We speak victory to every trial we're in. We are overcomers. We are overcomers. By the blood of the Lamb. By the blood of the Lamb. No longer defeated. No longer defeated. But we're winners now. We're winners. Clap your hands right here. Come on, SOV. Woo! We always win. Let's do it one more time. Come on, y'all. We will fight and we will win. And we will win. We speak victory to every trial we're in. We are overcomers. We are overcomers. By the blood of the Lamb. By the blood of the Lamb. No longer defeated. No longer defeated. Woo! But we're winners now. We're winners. Yes, sir. Kingdom declaration. We always win. Let's go, Felicia.
We always win. We always win. No matter what may come my way, we always
Say it
we
again.
always win. We always win. No matter what the circumstance, we always win. We always win. We always win.
My God.
No matter what may come my way, we always win. We always win.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Mother Georgia, she's back on live, the historic 980 WDDO. All of a sudden, let's go live into the studio with our host, Brenda Sutton.
Hello. How y'all doing this beautiful Monday?
Hello, everybody on Eclipse Monday.
Yes. Did you get a chance to go outside during the eclipse?
I did look outside, and it did seem
A little
different.
dim.
It was different. You could tell something was happening, but I refused to look up at the sun. I did not have any sunglasses. I did not have any specially made sunglasses.
Okay.
And I don't know that I have 20/20 vision in the first place. So I was not going to jeopardize that. But what I was doing was looking around to see if I saw any people looking up at the sun without the sunglasses and getting their tag numbers so I know not to drive around them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I know they're going to have
So
some
this was
problems
thoroughly
later.
thought out by you.
Absolutely. But I did see on ABC when they showed like it was a total eclipse view from Cleveland, Ohio. And they had all these people drive up from Virginia and different places. And one thing that what I left that with is man cannot orchestrate that there is a higher power greater than man to organize what that is. I just choose to call it high power God. So but I know that, and everybody else should know that I don't care what kind of scientific degree that they have and how they are with space and aeronautics and all that good stuff. They cannot orchestrate what we actualized today. It was something special.
Well, my mother actually did. She drove all the way to Indiana.
She did.
So that she could see the total 100% eclipse. So
Oh, awesome.
she got tons of pictures and videos. So I can't wait for her to get back. They're actually on their way back now. But yeah, they had a total 100% blackout. And she said it was so dark, the street lights actually came on.
Wow.
And she was in, I can't remember the name of the city where it was supposed to be 100% totality in that city, but it was completely black.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is that Brenda?
Looks like we got Brenda Williams joining us.
Brenda.
Hey,
Sutton
hey,
Williams.
y'all.
Thank you for joining us on the All of a Sutton show today.
Well, thank you. I'm
Seems
trying
you have
to
a
be all
different
of a sudden.
background. Seems
I'm
you have
trying
a
to be,
different.
huh?
Where are you? You have a different background.
That's because I'm at the Tubman, and I thought that's what we were going to be at, but Unfortunately, things didn't work out that way, but it's okay. We're going to be at the Tubman next week for our state representative candidate forum.
So
So
when you say we're going to be there, you mean we're going to broadcast from there?
we're going to broadcast from
That's
there,
what she
and
means, y'all. Because
because I think that Macon needs to hear from their candidates so
oh,
often.
absolutely.
Is
And
that
that's a
somebody?
perfect segue because we need to introduce who we have with us today.
Yeah, we have a guest in the studio today. So when you're away, we bring in other people.
Yeah, we're
Uh,
bringing somebody to fill your spot. So today we got Mr. Marshall Talley from the Macon Water. You're going to be running, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm running to win the District 2 Macon Water Authority seat.
That
Okay,
what I
District 2.
love his answer. He's not running; he's
he
running
wanted
to
to
win.
win.
Yes.
Absolutely, that's the right
I
attitude.
love it.
hmm
District 3, right?
District 2.
District two.
District
Who's your
2.
opponent in District Two?
Desmond Brown.
Now we don't
Desmond
say
Brown.
opponents now because the opponent didn't want to come, so we don't give him no airplay.
Okay, so you do have opposition,
Yes, sir.
and we invited that opposition,
We didn't
Brenda.
invite that. I've been trying to invite his opposition for several things, and he don't want to show. I don't know.
Oh
I
my
don't know
We're
if
going
that's
goodness.
to
what it
be
is.
nice today and we're going to be polite because we is kind and we is important. Okay.
You may be kind, you may be important, but
Right.
I as messy as
Yes, you are,
We know it. We're going to keep it clean
I just
today.
want to say, well, then under those circumstances, then as a citizen of Macon, Georgia, and to speak for all of the citizens of Macon, Georgia, thank you, Mr. Talley, for showing up because anybody that serves any elected office in this city should be available for the citizens of this city. That's a part of it. And so we thank you for it. And as you have proven, it's not an automatic thing that people who run for public or an elected office will show up so that the electors can see them. So thank you.
This the easy
and
part.
by the way, and just you know what, Mr. Talley, I all I can say is it's more to it than just even showing up at those board meetings and things like that. We need to talk about water, don't we?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Water is very important, and it's something that this community don't talk about a lot of. It's a very quiet. It's a very quiet organization, but it does so much for our community.
Yeah, it's a matter of fact sort of thing. Like, hey, we know when we turn the faucet on, there's going to be water, and
And
that
it
kind of
should be
thing.
clean.
Yeah, and it should be clean. And then most of us take for granted that it's going to be clean anyway, because we accept that we entrust those people in charge of it. Well, they wouldn't want to be in dirty water, so they're not going to allow us to be in dirty water. So that's kind of afterthought, but it does give way for us to find out more specifically what goes into these type things. And yes, the public needs to have more information and be more educated, and the people who can educate and give more information are the people who serve in those offices. And so if they don't make themselves available to our community, then how are we going to find out more things? So thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, Brenda.
Well, you know what? And I believe that you guys have got some questions. First of
Oh
all,
yeah,
and let
absolutely.
me ask. I can just ask them this. Tell us your platform.
Oh, first of all, my name is Marshall Talley.
Mhm.
I am running to win District 2, the District 2 board seat for Macon Water Authority. I am a husband. I am a father. I am a small business owner. I am a lone life resident of this community. For this community to thrive, I understand that the future of family and business is not only vested in clean and affordable water, but also clean and affordable energy. I am seeking this seat to improve the quality of life and making build by bringing awareness to our most valuable economic resource, which is our award-winning water. The water that flows through our pipes, it is the health and the wealth of this community. And as the authority upgrades its aging water infrastructure, we must explore innovative technologies to help make our community stronger, smarter, and more resilient for generations to come.
All right. Look, he practices Easter speech.
Yeah, so here's like a question that is just off the cuff. So the
I mean, but not to cut you off, but my main platform, I really care about renewable energy.
renewable energy.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Okay.
for a person that doesn't know what that means, what
yeah.
does that mean?
So renewable energy takes motion and turns it into energy. So you have like your wind tunnels, but with water, the Macon Water Authority pumps more than 25 million gallons of water every day. Every single day.
Okay.
25 million gallons of water is traveling through thousands of miles of infrastructure. So they have technology now where throughout that system you have pressure relief joints, to slow down the pressure before it hits our tap. And so they have turbines that they're putting in these systems that are spinning that doesn't affect the quality of the water, but it generates electricity. And so to further that, they have like energy neutral buildings, like facilities that use a lot of water. Like they're using these turbines to collect the energy to make the building like energy neutral. So exploring technology as we upgrade our infrastructure could be huge as far as helping us come up with solutions for rising energy using our water.
I like that.
Okay. So the turbines you mentioned, are they equally proportioned in this city? Does every part of the city have the same capability?
So that I'm not sure. When I talked to the engineers, they said it was possible. There are other communities in the United States that is using this technology.
Okay.
As far as I know, in the research I've done, as far as our facility, we was blessed in 1994 when we had the flood that we got a total makeover of our facility. So the technology is possible.
Okay.
Now getting in and doing the work to make the things happen, that's what we have to look forward to and work on.
Okay. Okay. So, what specific initiatives do you plan to implement to ensure water conservation in our community?
Speaking of water conservation, I think that we should put programs in place to have water conservation rebates. So like, let's say, for instance, like the church not the church, but church organizations were complaining about the stormwater fees. So if we had things in place like the water conservation rebate, let's say the church put together a program where we're bringing in people teaching water conservation because that's very important. Maybe we give them a rebate, or you're a homeowner, you pay your water bill. If you're buying water efficient appliances, dishwashers, stuff like that, you might get a rebate because that helps us out in the long run. So that's one thing that I was thinking about also in my platform.
Okay. Well, how do you intend to address aging infrastructure and ensure the safety and reliability of our water supply?
So Macon Water Authority does a great job with it already. They have a self-revolving loan where they put in, I think it's like $700,000 each year back into the water infrastructure. They have the $599 stormwater fee in place. And one of the good things about Macon Water Authority being its own entity is because all the assets and the resources that they make go back into the water infrastructure. So why we're so behind on the stormwater is because they just picked that up like a couple of years ago. I think the city was managing it somewhere in between us, but the Macon Water Authority just picked it up maybe like 4, 5, 6 years ago. So we're kind of behind, but we are catching up.
So for those of you all that weren't listening last week, let our listeners know could you let our listeners know who actually owns the Macon Water Authority? It is not the city, or it's not Bibb County. Is that correct?
No, so it's not Bibb County government per se, but it is a private public authority, which was created by the state legislature.
Hold on. It's a private public authority. Please.
Because we'll get 1,000 calls.
Yeah. So it's really public, but they say it's private because it's not the city. But it's really public because it was created by the Georgia Assembly. And they have board members that we vote on. So it's a public entity, but it's not a part of
The city of Macon.
Yeah, the city of
Okay.
Macon.
So when this,
But throughout the partnerships, you have Macon Water Authority, Macon Government, Urban Development Authority, Industrial Board. Everybody work collaboratively together. For the development purposes and stuff of that nature. But the board still have like bylaws and stuff they have to abide by. You know what I'm saying? So it's city, but it's not Macon be a government.
so does the salaries from the Macon
Right.
Water Authority employees,
Yeah. So
is it simply generated from the bills that people pay, or does it come from taxpayer money? Does some of it come from taxpayer money?
yeah. So the Macon Water Authority budget is ratepayers. So that's residential, commercial. You also have investments as far as like they have a nonprofit on that side also, and then stormwater fees. That's another source of income, and then also they have like that revolving money that they put in every year. So all that's budgeted out. But yeah, everything water is water.
Okay, so that comes from the taxpayers. I'm sorry,
Ratepayers.
the us paying our bills. That's how
Correct.
they get their salaries. So the city doesn't necessarily pay the Macon Water Authority employees.
No, not at all. Yeah,
Okay.
making MWA is
MWA. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what strategies are you going to employ to promote transparency and accountability within the Water Authority?
Oh, so I'm a very I'm very advocate. I'm an advocate for like community meetings and stuff like that. But like I said, like the Water Authority is like very quiet over there. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as residents, we expect our water to come on, we expect our water to be clean. We really don't think about the ins and out of what really goes on at the authority. As far as development, I mean, you'll hear things about that. You have big companies coming down or new residential property development, stuff like that. But I mean, it's very quiet over there.
Do you think that citizens should be in on that type of information, or that's something that?
Yeah, I mean, they have open board meetings just like at City Hall. I mean, so it's the same concept. But I mean, we as a community just don't pay a lot of attention to it.
Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, I think it's both. I think it's a good thing that I mean, in Macon Water Authority structure wise, I mean, they're really A1. I mean, we was blessed to have a good facility. I mean, they operated like clockwork. I mean, they really do a good job over there. Yeah, me coming to the table, I just want to bring some new ideas.
Okay.
So I want to make that A+, A++.
Okay, well, how will you balance the need for water rate affordability with the financial requirements for maintaining and upgrading our water systems? I think earlier you said you were talking about the wind.
So, I mean, long term, I always ask myself, like, there was another reason why I kind of got involved. Like, why do we have to pay for water? And so I think if we had other forms of income to come in, that would take the pressure off the ratepayers. I mean, but like even like bottling our own water, or having contracts like Pepsi, for instance. Atlanta municipal water, they bottle Pepsi water, and their water is trash. And we have like award-winning water in Macon.
Right.
So it's just like, why aren't we doing things like that? Like Coca-Cola, we have a relationship with Coca-Cola, but what does it take to create that relationship where we could put our water in your bottle? So just trying to come up with different revenue ideas, to take that pressure out the ratepayers. Because if we do have other income coming in, that would take the pressure out the ratepayers, because the ratepayers' main goal is to, put back in the infrastructure.
Okay.
I like that idea, actually.
Yeah. So what's your proposal to address the potential environmental changes, such as pollution and groundwater depletion, that's in our region?
Yeah, so all of that is educational. I also feel that Macon Water Authority has there should be some input in early childhood education, as far as like water conservation, things like that, environmental stuff, teaching them at an early age. So once they get older, that'll offset a lot of the problems that we have now. with water abuse and water misuse.
When you say water abuse, what do you,
It's just like just little things like I'm finna brush my teeth, so I cut the water on, and I might go my clothes and the water just running. Just little things like that. Just wasting water.
My son had a teacher when he was, I never forget this woman. He was in first grade, so this was a long time ago, and she was, an environmental person and an environmental nut, for lack of a better phrase. And she taught him, and you have small children, so you know how difficult it is to unteach something once you've taught it. And so she had this thing about water conservation. And she said, when you go to the restroom, she was like, if it's green, let it lean. If it's brown, flush it down. So she actually taught him to not flush the toilet when he had, when he was just urinating. And it was so difficult to unteach that to him. I was like, what in the world? So he would literally just, let it sit there. And I'm like, no, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
In the words of, T'Challa, we do not do that here. And he, so sometimes, when you teach children stuff like that at a young age, it sticks with them. And I'm like, yeah, we can't just go around not flushing toilets. Like we can't do that. So what are some of your other ideas to help, maybe foster that in the youth in terms of helping them learn how to conserve energy? Or not energy, but water, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so just programming in the school, coming up with different programs and fleshing it out, partnering with churches. Like I said earlier, small early childhood education. I really care a lot about that. We're kind of behind when it comes to early childhood education, and that shows in our high school. But really coming up with some good programming down at MWA and partnering with the Board of Education and really pushing that out.
Okay.
I think it's really interesting that you talked about the young children, because a lot of young people, I was going to say, and myself included, don't really see a career path in water.
Yeah. So, and then also, I'm glad that you said it. I'm not sure if they have this in place, but a strategic plan for industries that use a lot of water. Like we have urban tissue, we have the packaging place, we have that they use a lot of water. But as we upgrade those facilities that take in our wastewater, like we'll have the capacity to bring in more companies. And so once we have that strategic plan on, okay, these are our high use water industries. Now we partner with the BOE, the Board of Education, and we implement that in our early childhood education program. And then once they become, high school, they're ready to go out in these fields and work. There's a lot of opportunity in water engineering, things like that. There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of opportunity.
So that is something to think about, that how important our water is as far as attracting companies and corporations here.
Yeah, they do. As a city, that gives us a lot of leverage. And then also, we have a lot of rural areas around us: Twiggs County, Wilkinson County, Jones County. They have their own water structure, but nothing like us. And we have the ability to span out and put water. Let's say like a company, agricultural company, want to come to Twiggs County. We have the capacity to go and put water and service those companies if they do come. So not only being an asset for making bill, but being an asset regionally.
Okay.
That sounds pretty darn good, to be able to be such an integral part of bringing big business here.
Oh yeah, most
Because a lot of people don't associate, like they're going to have a lot of water if a big factory comes.
Yeah. So
I remember when in one of the leadership classes that I went to with Georgia Power, and one of the things that companies look at when they're going to relocate to an area is the capabilities of the water, and whether or not the water pressure can sustain the business. So actually it will attract business, business here, because we have the water.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to that water park we had?
Now that I'm not sure. Yeah. You talking about that Lake Tobosaki?
Yeah, I heard that had a lot to do with the water situation. The reason why that water park couldn't stay.
I don't know about that one, Emily. I don't know about the play water out there.
Yeah, I'm
I
not sure.
think that was just a bad business deal.
Oh, I mean,
What did you
I'm
refer
just
to it as, Brenda?
play
The
water.
play water?
The play water. See,
I was just wondering because rumors fly, so I was
Yeah.
just wondering if it really did have something to do with the water supply and it not being able to be funneled there, and
Yeah,
all of that.
now I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
So what about Emerson Park? What does the water authority have anything to do with management or ownership of that park?
That I'm not sure either.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
you
sure.
know,
About
in speaking in terms of what would you do different than what your, let me just say, what would you do different than what your opponent is doing now,
that. As far as
as far as representing the residents of your district?
I mean, just showing up. I mean, I'm not seeking this seat to I guess make money for myself. I'm seeking this seat to make money for the city, as far as exposing our water and the asset that it is. I'm not here to I'm not here to find work. This is not my line of work. I'm here to work for the community.
Okay. Okay. And now, how do you plan to collaborate with other local agencies and stakeholders to ensure effective water management and coordination?
Oh yeah, that's easy. So so I learned the importance of partnerships and leadership making.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a nonpartisan race. So to be able to talk and communicate on both our sides of the aisle, I mean, that's going to be very important.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Okay, here's a question that came up. And I don't, because we never knew whose responsibility it was. Um, so if there's a water outlet going through your neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, whose responsibility is that? That also travels through the sewages of Macon. Like there's an area that starts like up at Plant Street, up where tonight used to be, and it runs all the way down to like Broadway.
Yeah, so if it's in the street, it's MWA. Now, if it's on your property, then that's the property owner.
But this particular runway, because when we were little boys, I remember we discovered that we could get inside of this thing and walk all the way from Timber Height all the way down to Broadway.
Yeah, that sounds like stormwater. So right now that'll be MWA.
That would be MWA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then
Now back in the day, when I think that you're referring to, that probably was the city of Macon.
it back then.
Yeah,
Back when Methuselah was still living. Okay.
But I'm saying, but the Methuselah outlet is still there. It has stood the test of time, so it still exists. So then now the ownership of it now, you think it's MWA?
I would think so, but give me that. I'm gonna get that information from you, and I'm gonna do some research on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm wondering, like, if the people, like a lot of trash or this or that, the stuff comes through, is it the citizens' responsibility to clean it out, or is it the MWA's responsibility?
Yeah, so that would be MWA responsibility
to clean it out? Because that's like a you
But
can like stand there and look at the water, and it's not going. It's underground a whole lot of that space.
Yeah.
But then there are open parts of it where you can see it. Then it'll go back underground again. And then if you go down another 5-6 blocks, there's another open space the same water is traveling through.
Yeah.
And so, and some of it comes like maybe next door that travels down around somebody's house, but it's not on their property.
Yeah.
And so we never know who it belongs, whose responsibility, who do you contact in those type situations.
But yeah, I'm gonna get that information from you and do some research.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
But that's another thing too, like you just mentioned, even with stormwater. I know I was bad for this, like you cut the grass and then you just blow the leaves down. Yeah, that's like bad. Just that educational piece, you know what I'm saying? Because you meant to like, oh, okay, it's just washed down, but like
It clogs
and so
up
then the water, like the like on the side of the streets where you got the sewage where rainwater goes down in the sewage, right? That's what you call storm.
Yeah, those storm beans. Yeah.
Okay, so how does all the fashion, the trash, and the this and that affect the water authority? Does it cost us that so much trash?
So they go through and they clean those bins out. You know what I'm saying? Like those holding men, they go through and clean them out. But yeah, we operate in 3 phases.
Okay.
Clean water out, wastewater, and then we just brought in storm water. So those are the 3. And then also providing water for the fire. That's another important thing that we really don't talk about also.
So now, see, when you brought it up, my brain went immediately like, oh, so
yeah. So because of our water, we have one of the top fire departments in the nation. Yeah.
So the Macon Water Authority owns the water that the fire department uses, and so who pays the Macon Water Authority for that water?
That's a good question. But I'm quite sure.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, I never thought about it.
I was like,
That's a good. I would think it was the city because
I'm thinking
firefighters are employed by the city, right?
That's a good question.
The firemen are employed by the city.
The firefighters are employed by the city, but as far as like the water usage,
yes.
I'm not sure, but that's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
cool
the
beans.
MWA do provide that pressurized water for them to take care of their business. Though.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your candor, and I think we need more people that will, if they know the answer it, and if they are not sure, say I'm not sure, instead of misguiding and misleading us for so long, because there's been a whole lot of that, because a lot of us have operated on the misinformation of people who we look up to for the answers, and because they were too lazy or too honest, too dishonest to say, hey, I don't know the answer to that right now, but let me get back with you. I'm going to do some research. So I appreciate that. I would love having a person in office with that attitude than a person that just shoots me off some language.
Nonsense.
You know what I mean? And they really don't know, but they won't say they don't know, because I think it's a sign of intelligence to say what you know and don't know. Yeah, I do. I honestly do.
So you have to head back down to the Tubman, right? Are you headed back down there today?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I am.
I believe you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I do have one last question to ask you before you go. What experience or qualifications do you bring to the role that make you the best candidate to lead our water authority? Like, what makes you the best man for the job?
Integrity, number 1. Service, both community and customer. Stewardship. Let's see, professionalism and innovative thinking.
Cool answers on my part.
All right.
Yeah. Listen, this is Marshall Talley, and tell them again what office that you are running to win.
I am running to win the District 2 seat for Macon Water Authority. You can check me out at marshalltalley.com to get more information and to donate to my campaign. But I've been in the community working for a long time, and it's time. It's time for me to get in here and
step up
and make some changes.
Yeah, listen, I do get that for sure, and I'm like a lot of people. I welcome new blood to the community. I welcome new ideas, but nobody's going to care about home like a home person. A person's from that, because they've seen what has transpired. You know, a lot of times people don't understand. I have a little thing that I always talk about: equity rather than equality, you know, and splitting it up even. And that's another thing that I want to make sure of that happens with the Macon Water Authority, because if they get grant money or however that works, and they say, okay, well, implement this system, then I want to make sure that everybody has a system that works equally. I'm not worried about everybody getting the same amount of money, because some people, I'm guessing that some of the certain parts of our underground system and things are probably more modern than other sides of town. I'm guessing. I'm guessing. I don't have any factual document in front of me, but I'm guessing that, and maybe the plan is to have all of them work equally in the end.
but I'm sure they can't work on every area at the same time.
Yeah.
So you might finish an improvement or an enhancement in one area of town, and then the plan is to make sure that we do it in the other areas and make everything be equal in the end.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you don't start, and then when you're supposed to be going this phase two, the next part of town, you go, oh, there's another new thing, and then you got this side of town 2 steps ahead of the other side of town. You follow what I'm saying?
And then
Because I've
also,
seen it happen too much around.
Yeah, and then I add on to that. Also, in our disenfranchised like neighborhoods, like the water may come from our pipes A1, but once it goes through your pipes in your house, it might, what's the word? Gravel. It's start with a G. But like the pipes, we have all that galvanized pipes in your house, like a lot of older houses. But coming up with solutions like for codes, you know what I'm saying, so we can make sure that people don't have that in their household. Yeah,
because I remember a long time ago they were supposed to, from my memory, that was supposed to have happened a long time ago about the galvanized pipe. Everybody was supposed to do that, but then if the agencies didn't come by to check it,
yeah.
And ain't nobody gonna come by here. Ain't worried about changing that pipe.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about real life stuff.
Oh, yeah, most definitely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
they say, they don't care anything about this side of town.
Yeah, I know NWA been doing a good job as far as the piping in the streets and stuff like that. But
right.
As far as the homes,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's so true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know Brenda just messaged me, so she's expecting you. You are supposed to be headed down to.
Because it's gonna start there at 6:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as soon as you leave here, you're supposed to head down there, and they'll be finishing up with you over
Don't
there.
get a speeding ticket.
So, yeah.
Listen, it's a pleasure, man. And as you say,
thank y'all.
I've witnessed you working in this community as a servant in this community for a long time. And it is very encouraging to see you moving forward and trying to do even more. So I thank you for that. And anybody that knows me know I don't give anybody any false praise for anything, because I don't want them giving me any false praise for anything. I don't want people giving me false praise for anything. You know what I mean? And I try not to do that with us, and because I want people to be honest with me. I'm a human being. And but I see you, brother, and I've seen you for a long time out here in so many different areas of this community, trying to help. The illuminated parts, and I know I'm the kind of guy, I see you when you're helping people, and you hope nobody else sees you helping them, because you're not doing it to be notarized for it. That's your spirit, that's your heart.
Yes,
so we appreciate you, man.
All right, thank you all also.
Appreciate you taking your time to come out here and talk to us. I definitely say this: if I lived in Bibb County, you'd have my vote.
Where you stay at?
I'm in Warner Robins, Houston County.
Yeah, we gotta get you a house up here.
Yeah, gotta get her in.
Yeah. I gotta work to get me back to Macon. I left, but
that still work though. You spend your money here, so we reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, I do. I spend too much of my money in Bibb County.
We'll take those sales tax.
That's right. So we're going to come down a little bit later after the show as well to the Tubman Museum, where there are going to be candidates for elected offices down in a forum held by the Georgia Women's. And so get on down to the Tubman Museum. You say you want to be able to talk to your candidates. Well, the Georgia Women's, what's the
it's Georgia Women and Those Who Stand With Us.
Georgia Women and Those Who Stand With Us. They're providing a forum that you might meet and greet the candidates. So get on down. Marshall Talley is on his way down there, and we'll be down there right after the show. We got about 23 more minutes. All right, Mr. Talley, thank you so much for being here.
So
all right, thank you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got a chance to hear this awesome individual here who is very concerned about the health and the wealth of Macon, Georgia. And that's a good thing. And he's taking time out of his day. And he had a prior appointment, but he thought it not robbery to come by and share some of his ideas and forethoughts about what he would like to do. He says, and he didn't come here, and I appreciate that. He didn't come here bashing anybody. He wasn't talking about, anybody's personalities or anything like that. He just thinks that he can be an enhancement to what is already going on. And It's a beautiful thing.
I agree. I agree. It was a good individual. He was knowledgeable. He answered our questions directly. He didn't skirt around anything. So I think, if nothing else, he's definitely going to make a great politician.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, and a good one because, like I said, he answered questions directly. And a lot of politicians, they know how to skirt around and never really give you a direct answer.
right.
But I do respect that. And most importantly, if he didn't know, he said, "I don't know."
That's super important.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's what I was just about to expound on, that he was honest enough to say, I don't know, and I'm going to do some research. I'm going to find out, because hey, that's our job. That's why we as citizens are supposed to go and talk to these people, because it's more of us than that one candidate. And surely we should have thought of a question that maybe they didn't think of. You got 100 and so thousand heads versus that one head. So yeah, we should be able to come up with maybe a question or two, an outlook or two, a vantage point or two that they hadn't considered, and that's why we need to work together with anybody that's going to be representing us in any elected capacity. Yeah, those are some good questions you thought of, Emily.
Well, thank you. With the help of Brenda Sutton,
Brenda who?
Brenda Williams.
Brenda Sutton-Williams.
Yes, 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 yes,
Hey,
yes.
look, I always get off the subject matter. They have to reel me back in, but I just want to say those girls from South Carolina really played a terrific game and really showed that team will always beat an individual.
Now, this was basketball. Is that
This was
correct?
the women's
Okay.
NCAA championship. And I
Mhm.
like that girl that plays for Iowa. She is a fantastic player. But there had to be something about South Carolina's team that deserved a bit more notoriety. I couldn't ever get to it. This woman, her team, in 3 years, I think their record has been 36-2 one year. The next year, it was 36-1. And then this year, it was 37-0. 30, they did not lose a game and won the championship. So if you've got a team that only lost 3 games in 3 years, I think you ought to get a little bit more press from the national press
Mhm.
than they've gotten. And they beat the one that was getting all the press. And for some reason, I still think they're lacking in giving them more press, because those girls played their hearts out and it was really good basketball. Women's basketball is getting more notoriety. And I'm sure that that young lady who plays for Iowa has a lot to do with it. But you also have to recognize those other young ladies, because they played a heck of a game. And it wasn't just that game, because they're undefeated. So they had to be playing good ball all year. So I just like to see some of their players get more notoriety singularly because of the NIL and the potential for money that these college students now make before they even get to the pros.
Mhm.
So this is a lot of my concern about making sure that you spread the wealth. Don't give one person all the wealth. Spread the wealth, y'all. Spread the wealth.
Oh my goodness! And isn't that Coach Black?
Yeah, Don Staley. She was a championship player and Olympian as well in her time, and
Oh.
yeah, she was one heck of a ball player herself. And they say most players don't do that well coaching well. She certainly turned that theory on top of his head,
Mhm.
because she is doing an outstanding job
Now, do you agree with that theory?
with.
The theory that most players don't make great
Oh
coaches.
yeah, I agree with it greatly, because um, most, let me see how they say it. Most uh, the players who are like the stars, the
Mhm.
players who are the superstars, they don't seem to come back and be able to be superstar coaches.
is what they say. Like the player that probably sat on the end of the bench that never got in the game, but he was sitting over there watching the whole game and studying the game. He might come up and be a great coach. But the player that was playing most of the entire game and scoring 40 points and 50 points, and blocking all the shots and stuff, they don't tend to make very good coaches. That or even team owners for that matter. But especially in the coaching realm, when you get players like Dion, like he's sort of an anomaly. That's why so many people are surprised to see him with the success that he's having, because he was such a great player, and he's obviously has the ability to coach, because they say that their expectation of every player that they have, they want them to be as great as they were, and that's simply just not possible. And so they say that is a drawback of a coach like that. But I just wanted to mention, those girls from South Carolina, the Gamecocks. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to Don Stanley, I think her name is. What a great job these young ladies did. All right. And so, Emily, I need to know this.
Oh my.
Do you have any special products coming up for 420?
You know what? I don't. I do not.
Because they have it now like it's a holiday or something. You know what I mean?
It is. There's a 3-day long festival
Yeah.
in Macon, and we'll be actually performing at that festival. I think they have several forums actually throughout that 3-day period, and it goes deeper into the medicinal purposes of cannabis and how it can be used to heal and so on and so forth. And I'm not a partaker of it. I never have. It's just something I've never been interested in doing. However, I do have a sister and a brother that partake regularly.
Now you got to be throwing your sister and your brother.
No,
under the
I'm saying
bus.
that because I'm saying that to make a point, because my sister is somewhat of an alchemist, I guess you could say. She's learned to actually take the cannabis and turn it into specific serums and poultices and different things like that. And she's actually created her own business
Okay.
doing it. And it's not, I think it has such a negative connotation behind it. People just think, oh, you're smoking it, oh, you're sitting around high all day.
Making brownies.
Right, exactly. But she's found a way to use the herb itself and make medicinal things out of it. And her mother-in-law, which she was a long-term family friend of ours, was dying of stage 4 colon cancer. And she actually created a paste because the morphine wasn't working anymore, anything like that. So she actually took it, and I watched her do it because I was fascinated by it, and I watched her grind actually with the pestle rather, and the little bowl, where you grind it. And I saw her actually sit and grind it and soaked it, and then took out the properties in it, and and she turned it literally into a paste. And she took this paste and she rubbed it under the tongue of her mother-in-law. And when I say, and I'm not exaggerating, 15 seconds, the heavy deep breathing, where you can tell someone's in pain, it went away. Within 10 or 15 seconds, it was gone, and you could see her entire body just calm down and relax. And this was done obviously without her smoking it, but it was what she actually used for pain management in her last 3 weeks of life.
Wow.
And so after that, I was sold, and it was only because I was able to witness it being made firsthand and actually saw her using it on her mother-in-law firsthand. And I was like, I'd heard that it could be done, but I never really believed it until I actually saw it with my own hands. But this yeah, the 420 is a big deal. I never knew it was that big of a deal. Of course, like I said, I don't partake in it whatsoever, but it is a huge nationwide
Yeah, I was gonna say
um
nationwide.
deal. And I was just, and people just talk about it as if you're supposed to know, um like you're supposed to know what it is, and be all excited about it. And I'm like, yeah, and I didn't even know that it was that big of a deal until I think it was last year before last. They had the first festival here and we were asked to play, and I was like, really, it's that big of a deal? And so once we actually got to the festival, and it was people as far as I could see, and I just honestly did not know it was that many people
Mm.
that were partaking in it. I mean, of course, it's been around for centuries. I just didn't know it was that big of a deal. But yeah, they have a lot of dispensaries are opening up here, or they're trying to open up more here. And I think that those of you that do want to know more about it in terms of the medicinal property should probably try to go to those forums, because let me tell you something, that stuff can really, really, really work, for medicinal purposes. Okay, I like to say that so we don't make no mistakes or misunderstand for medicinal purposes. I think it does serve its purpose for sure. And then I did have a client of mine a few years ago, and she made this. It was like an I guess you could say a lotion or a cream that was infused with cannabis, and it helped sore. She used it to help her mother, and I think her mother at the time may have been 76, I think,
Mm.
and she had really bad joints.
Mm-hmm.
I say just the normal stuff that comes along with age. And she had really, really bad joints to the point where she would, it would be extremely painful for extremely painful for her to sit as well as stand. And so she would take this cream and rub it, on her knees and on her elbows, and it would really help with the pain and the inflammation. And I said, well, girl, why don't you just go get you some icy hot? And the mom said, no, icy hot is like surface level. She said, whatever's in this, it's like it penetrates and it gets down to the actual root of the problem. So yeah, that's I think the festival here is the 19th, 20th, and the 21st. So it's 3 days, and they're gonna have forums all 3 days in different spots in the city. So I think it's called Puffapalooza or something like that. So yeah, you guys gotta check that out if you're interested, definitely in the medicinal side of that.
That's awesome. So listen, just another reminder at the Tubman Museum today, beginning at 6:30, representatives who are running for public office, elected office, Macon Water Authority District 2, Desmond Brown, Marsha Talley, and for Macon Water Authority District 3, it is Dwight Jones, who is the incumbent, and we hope we're saying this young lady's name right, Tantania Harp. And we're expecting them to be at the Tubman. So if you're in your car and listening to your radio, or you live close enough that you can get down there before 7:30 to ask a question or to hear what their platform is and how they plan to move about if they are the ones who are elected to these offices, please go down to the Tubman Museum downtown Macon in front of the terminal station and witness and hear the potential candidates, well, the candidate who are to potentially serve in these offices. District 2, again, those choices are Desmond Brown, the incumbent, and Marsha Talley. And then for District 3 again, Dwight Jones, and he's the incumbent, and then Tantania Hart. So get on down and tell them what the name of the group that's headlining that.
It is the Georgia Women and Those Who Stand With Us. Georgia Women and Those Who Stand With Us. And I believe Brenda is the president
She is.
this year. So yeah, kudos to our fearless leader, Miss Brenda
Yeah,
Williams.
she's been doing some great things.
Mhm.
And we if you have, they had the sheriff's debate. The 6 candidates that are running for sheriff. They had some candidates that's running for city commissioner already down at the government building, they call it now. And I promise you, it is worth you going to hear these people talk, because I'll just give you one illustration on my part. I heard one of the candidates sitting up talking about all these wonderful moves that Macon's doing, but in his own district, he mentioned not one thing that's happening in his district that's a move forward. But he was sitting up there talking about all these great things going on, and none of those things were in his district. And if you don't know any better, then you'll give him credit for some of this great movement that's going on in Macon. And just please get out, start acquainting yourselves with the people who are running for these offices, and acquaint yourself with the area you live in, so you'll know whether or not they're blowing hot air and blowing smoke, because it just fascinated me to sit there and listen to this guy. And I don't have anything personally against him or anything, nothing like that, but it's just the fact of, I sat there and watched him talk about things that were happening in Macon. These things were real. These things are happening in Macon. But he had nothing to do with it from his position in his district.
Well, was he trying to put it off as if he had done these things, or if he was
the way he
responsible?
presented it,
Or
they asked him, "What have you done for the community?" Da, da, da. And he named all these great things that's going on in the city, but none of them are in his district. So if you're not a really good listener, you think all the things he reeled off, some of that stuff was going on, he was responsible for. It was in his. He could
but
tell
the question, I mean, one could argue that the question was asking about what's going on in his community. The community is a community of Macon.
No, they asked him.
Oh, specifically his district.
What did you do in your district?
Okay.
And he started naming all these things going on in the city, which that's not the question asked, bro. The question asked was, what have you done in your district? But he named all these wonderful things, and they sounded great. And then you would go, but then the people who live in your district, I've been trying to call you, man, for a long time. Can never get you. You're always too busy, or, I left a message. But here you are today saying all this good stuff that has gone on during your time you've been in office. But what about my street and the street over from my street, which is the actual district that you serve? So that's why I say it is better to come out and really get a actual picture of who these people are, what they're doing. And if you're like me, for a long time, I really didn't even know what my district was. I had to keep asking and asking, like they were saying, well, it ends here and it begins here, and then part of it starts here, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean? You know what I mean? I'm asking the officials about where is your district end and begin, and they were like, well, let me check with him, because and they almost told me, like, some days it runs here and then the next day it might not. I'm like, what the? Let me stop, because I'm not against anybody. I'm just for what's right. And oftentimes people will because you're for something that's right, they'll twist it and make it seem like you're against something. I'm not against anything. I'm for what's right. Yeah, that's where my concentration goes.
You know what, Johnny? How come you've never run for office?
I don't know.
You don't think you'd make a good candidate?
I do know this, that I would be involved. And I don't think you could be an elected official and do it for the money. Because if you do it for the money, you're never going to be satisfied.
Because it's not enough money.
That's what I'm saying. And and if that's and if your motivation too is to use it just as a stepping stone to get to other places, I think the purest form is to do such a great job as an elected official that the citizens will say, hey,
We want you in a larger capacity around here. We want you to run for this. We don't want you to be this. We think you should be the mayor. We think you should be this. But now it's changed to the person runs for city commissioner because they know they got a bigger dream. They're not running to serve in that capacity. They're running because that's what's going to look good on their resume.
Right.
I hope I made some kind of sense.
You did. Well, thank you guys so much. We love you as usual. Please make sure you tune in next Monday at 5:30 for All of a Sudden. And if you guys get an opportunity, make sure you go down to the Tubman Museum at 6:30 to listen to the candidates
That's
that are
right.
running for office today
We're
at
on our way.
6:30. And we love you guys. We'll see you next Monday. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I forgot my baby.
You've been listening to All of a Sudden. Join them every Monday evening from 5:30 to 6:30. All of a Sudden with your host, Brenda Sutton. That's every Monday. We'll see you there.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM,